After more than 2 years of planning and construction, the Montague County Veterans Monument is finally dedicated. I'm Mechell Dixon, and I'll take you to the ceremony. There are thousands of trees around Wichita Falls. Unfortunately, quite a few of them are just like this tree I'm standing next to, dead. The now 16-year-old victim was quite descriptive on the stand today as she recounted the sexual abuse she says she endured at the hands of Slagle, which started 10 years ago. Harold's gun policy could be in conflict with a recently passed Texas law. Johnny Duke says when he woke up this morning and he went outside, he discovered Grinches had come overnight and left him with no way to travel. You see, his car was missing all 4 wheels. This white area behind me was graffiti, but as you can see, crews have painted over it. But graffiti removal isn't the only thing TxDOT and city crews are doing to make the area a lot more appealing for the upcoming Hutter and Hell 100. Since about 11:30, sheriff's deputies have been filing out of Van Horn Road. Now, that is a road which is right down here. It leads to Buffalo Creek, which is where they say they found the body of a white male face down in the creek. Now, someone saw that body and they called the sheriff's office, and this was about 9:45, and deputies have been out here ever since. Now, to give us a sense of what actually happened, we have Wichita County Sheriff David Duke with us. First of all, how did you all come across this body and find out that it was down here?
There's another individual out here fishing in a small boat, and he observed a small boat upside down with what appeared to be a body next to it in the water. We did send him off for an autopsy after the order was given by Judge Mark Newman, a JP from Precinct 3, to send him to Tarrant County for an autopsy. So that's what we're going to be awaiting for the results.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Sheriff, for talking to us. All right, once again, out here, Buffalo Lake, which is owned by the city of Iowa Park. We're told that this lake is very popular, and what was found here is very tragic. Greg, back to you. Now, Wichita Falls water distribution supervisors say 30 to 50,000 gallons of water spewed from that leak. In fact, there was so much water bubbling from the broken line, 7th Street between Scott and Indiana looked like it had a river running through it. Now, after crews shut off the water and it drained from the break site, officials were able to see the magnitude of the damage caused by that leak.
We have a 12-inch cast iron line that runs through here that blew out, and then you can look up and down this street right here. This whole block has got sign of water and mud up and down this whole street.
According to officials, the broken line buckled half a block of asphalt on 7th Street. Now, that street is now closed between Scott and Indiana while crews make repairs. And they say it could reopen as early as 9 tonight or as late as tomorrow morning. Well, Doug, Shepherd officials tell me because Fort Hood is fairly close to Wichita Falls, roughly 265 miles away, they made the decision to increase security measures on base. Now, the shooting at Fort Hood happened yesterday around 4 p.m. and tighter security measures were enforced at Shepherd as of 5:45. Officials say those measures included increased patrols around populated areas like the base exchange, the commissary, and training school areas. Officials also say instead of conducting random checks of ID cards at base entrance gates, everyone who entered the base had their ID scanned.
We take this security very seriously, and we don't want to become or give the impression that we are easy target, and actually make our members in the Shepherd Air Force Base feel comfortable and secure.
The increased security measures were in place for just over 18 hours. Now, again, they started yesterday at 5:45 p.m. and ended this afternoon at 1. Now, I also checked at Fort Sill, Doug, and officials tell me they did not change their level of security on post. Water is necessary to maintain the city's parks and sports complex fields, but since it's so scarce now, city crews have had to do without it. However, supervisors say the lack of H2O is not creating a lack of work for employees. Maintaining fields at the Wichita Falls softball complex is still necessary, despite Stage 5 water restrictions being in effect.
We're still running all our leagues, and softball, kickball, and flag football will be coming up, and we host tournaments almost every weekend.
That means workers spend their days chalking fields, so later on, kids can play ball. But this isn't the only job for the recreation's crews of 3 full-time and 4 part-time workers.
The crew also maintains the Lucy Park pool, the city stage for concerts and events that it goes to. They maintain equipment at the 50-plus zone.
And this type of equipment is being used more and more by city parks crews. When Stage 4 restrictions started last November, the city stopped irrigating about 20,000 trees to save water. That hurt mature trees, like this 60-year-old cottonwood in Lucy Park, and caused them to be a danger. So supervisors say crews are now busy knocking down the danger.
With the amount of dead trees that we're probably going to see over the next year or two, I don't see any reduction in workforce whatsoever. These guys are totally safe and job security if trees die.
The workforce, supervisors say, is now shifting from jobs that require water use to removing casualties of the drought. And Parks and Rec supervisors say neither department has any plans to lay off workers, but Terry Points did say his crews are now so busy cutting down, removing, and mulching dead trees, he's currently hiring more workers.